My name is Dave from Black Leader Analysis, and I want to talk to you about interracial dating. Before we even start, make sure you subscribe and hit the like button below so other people can find it, and also share it on your Facebook. Talking about interracial dating. So, I see a lot of different posts in the conscious community, pro-black community, where they're trying to shame people for interracial dating, either just regular folks for doing it and also like famous people. And I'm wondering, should we be really shaming people for dating outside their race? And as a person myself who's had a lot of issues with racial relationships dealing with other black people, and I've written extensively about this on my blog, Black Leader Analysis. Some of the reason people date outside their race is because they have a lot of trauma when dealing with other black people. So if we're not going to build a space for these people to talk about their racial trauma and how they feel and process that, then you can't ultimately be mad at them for dating outside their race or exclusively dating outside their race. I mean, if there's no place where you can talk and say, look, I have a hard time dealing with other black people. I don't feel like I'm accepted. I don't feel like other people there care nothing about me. If there's no space for you to talk about that, you can't psychologically work through those barriers. And another thing about it is if you don't make a space for people to do that at a young age, then it's going to be really hard for them to turn around a feeling of not racial hatred, but racial hostility within themselves. It's going to be hard to turn that around at 30 and 40. So I think it would be good, instead of just simply shaming all the people for dating outside their race, it'd be better if we really built space for people to talk about how they feel about partners within their racial community, and do a constructive feedback and help them work through the issue. So I was online talking about Kamala Harris, and I'm really critical of Kamala Harris. I think she's like one of the worst political candidates you could ever pick out. And I was talking to a black woman about it, and she just immediately went to black men don't support black women, and black men don't do this, and black men don't do that. And I'm like, she was dealing with like a lot of her own internal issues with dealing with black men. And instead of just attacking other people that don't agree with her online, if she really worked through those issues, she probably would have a better time in her dating life. I mean, how many black women are single not because like all black men are worthless? It's just because they have a negative idea of black men to begin with, and they're hostile to black men to begin with for things in their personal life. And then when they're getting their dating life, or before when they were younger, and then when they get into a relationship with a black man, all that stuff kind of comes out. So unless we build spaces for us to talk and vent and be honest about how we feel, you're going to have a lot of just intraracial hostility toward each other, and you're not going to really be able to move past it. And I don't see there being a big space for where you could really talk through it. Usually if you mention something about this, you get dismissed or called a sellout. It's not really about that. You really want to work through it, but there's no place to work through it, And another thing I noticed is a black man dating a white woman is seen as way worse than a black woman dating a white man, or a black woman dating another black American person. A lot of women that date black women will date, Nigerians and, other people that come from other countries that have more money than black men too. Because a lot of these people coming in from these other countries like Nigeria and Jamaica, they're not refugees. They're people that were upper class in those countries, and they come here and get good jobs, or they come here specifically to go to school. So, I mean, what's really the difference between a black woman marrying a Nigerian guy who's like has money from Nigeria and who came on scholarship, and her marrying a white man? I mean, she's still trying to get away from that ADOS, problems and that whole ADOS lineage. So to me, it's the same thing. Another thing is like with Kamala Harris, you know, she's married to a white man. I haven't heard anybody go as hard on her as they would go on like a Harold Ford, who's married to a white woman in politics, or just any other black actor married to a white person in politics. And I gave an earlier a video on Viola Davis talking about how she feels like she made it because she was in a sex scene with Liam Neeson. You know, if a black guy said anything close to that, it would be something that he could never even apologize for. And I think the reason for that is, I think even in black America, there's this just underlying belief that there's just something inherently wrong with black men. And I think that's something that is pervasive in society, and I think it's also pervasive within the black community. You know, I hear so many posts and stories talking about, you know, black men don't take care of their families and black men don't support black women. So is that the case, or is it the case that black men have few resources to do any of that stuff? I mean, even physical protection. Like if a white guy, so let's say you're at a bar and a white guy hits on another white guy's girlfriend and they get into a fight. You know, there's a good chance that they don't even get arrested. You know, if two black guys get into a fight over a girl, like they're both getting arrested and getting the book thrown at them. You know, I mean, we've already had a bunch of different studies talking about black men get the same sentence for nonviolent drug offenses as white men get for violent crimes. So, do you feel like black men don't physically protect black women just because we just don't care about women? Or is it because we know if we do, we're going to get the book thrown at us and our whole life is going to be ruined? And I think it's really important that we start seeing the things that way, you know, and have a little bit more compassion for each other. And, you know, if someone says, you know, they have a hard time dealing with other black people, be able to say that in public and not just get a whole bunch of people saying you're a sellout and you just don't care and you're overly sensitive. Like, actually take that, you know, be able to listen to it and try to, like, actually work through it. And I think that's really important to do that. So, you know, let's get off the whole shaming tip and see, you know, if you see somebody, if you know somebody who usually dates white women, ask them legitimately why they prefer dating white women and see what's going on and try to dig a little deeper and help them work through some stuff instead of just shaming people. Because in reality, a lot of these people that are dating outside their race, they're pretty much at the point where they're like done with black people. Like, black people shaming them has no effect on them. They've accepted that they don't want to be a part of the community, and they've accepted it. You know, and they've accepted that they just want to leave. So shaming them isn't even going to do anything. So, and if you take it, you could take it another way, is that if someone's already decided they don't want to really deal with black folks, then it's good. We don't have to deal with them. I mean, would it be a good relationship for a black man or a black woman to be dating another black person who secretly just isn't attracted to them, or openly isn't attracted to them and doesn't want to be in black spaces even? Like, would that be a good relationship for a black person to even be in? So, I mean, I don't think it would be. So, I mean, some of these people that are dating interracially, that's good. They should just leave and not really bother us. You shouldn't really be around people you don't like and respect and lost faith in. So I think that's how we need to start looking at some of this stuff and not just be just shaming and attacking people all the time. So that's all I got to say.